It's Thursday night and you're watching Crypto Trader on CNBC Africa, the world's first televised cryptocurrency investment show. Today in our studio we have Simon Dingle from Invest Capital, and we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, altcoins and the whole market. Simon, I'm so glad to have you on our show.
Glad to be here, Ran.
Simon, Bitcoin,
Yes.
Bitcoin, around $4,200. Where are we going?
To the moon.
To the moon.
But it might take longer than a lot of people might think. Look, I don't like speculating on price. If we're talking about the price of Bitcoin, I think we saw toothing our way up there. There's going to be dips and some big dips in the near future. I'm more interested in the 5 to 10 year outlook.
So let's talk about the 5 to 10 year outlook. Let's not speculate on price like you say. So we've got Bitcoin, we've got infighting in the Bitcoin community. We've got SegWit 2x, which is supposed to be activating sometime in between the 18th and the 22nd of November. Is it another hard fork? Are we going to be issued with more coins?
It looks like at this stage, and again, these things are hard to predict, but it looks like we're headed for another hard fork, which I think is a good thing. You know, I'm a technologist first and an investor second, and I've been working with Bitcoin since 2011, but with open source software since the 90s. And you know, this is par for the course. Forks are how we resolve issues in open source software. They're a good thing, they're healthy.
Well, they're a good thing for investors because we got free Bitcoin Cash coins. Bitcoin price didn't move. Now we're going to get Bitcoin 2x coins, so we're going to get 3 coins. What's going to happen to Bitcoin Cash, for example? Where do you see that going?
I don't know where Bitcoin Cash is headed, to be honest. I haven't shown much interest in Bitcoin Cash. I invest in things I understand. I understand Bitcoin. I understand why the Bitcoin Cash fork happened, and obviously I now hold Bitcoin Cash as a result of it, although I've disposed of most of it.
You're a Bitcoin man and you believe in Bitcoin. I'm going to challenge you there.
Okay.
10 minutes for every block. Small block sizes, which are going to get full with mass adoption. The community fighting as to whether it's a currency or a commodity. I mean, surely there can't be a future in this.
I believe there can be, and again, you know, I remember the early days of Linux, and we were having similar discussions about how it would never take off on the desktop. Guess what? It didn't take off on the desktop, but at the core of every Mac is contributions from the Linux open source community, and more than 90% of the world's computing power, whether it's on Amazon EC2 or in other big cloud centers now, runs on Linux. It has won.
So
But
Bitcoin currency or commodity?
both.
Store of value or cash?
Both.
How? With big block sizes? With small block sizes?
We have big technical challenges at the moment. I believe that they can be overcome and that they will be in time.
But why not just jump to another coin? Why not go into Litecoin? Litecoin resolves all of these things.
Sure, and maybe another coin will win. I don't think that Bitcoin necessarily will be the winner. You know, in the early days of the internet, again, we had a lot of names like Gopher,
Yes.
which were massive protocols that don't exist anymore. So, you know, is Bitcoin the ultimate winner as a store of value, as cash? I don't know. Can something be a commodity and a currency at the same time? I believe it can be.
ICOs.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what's going on in this ICO market? It sounds crazy.
So on the one hand, I believe that 99%, probably more than that, of the ICOs out there at the moment are complete trash. They're garbage. I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole.
99%.
More than 99%. But ICOs is an idea.
Give me one
of
good
the
ICO.
most significant things that have happened in the last 10 years.
Okay, give me one good ICO. One that you
Well, I'll
actually
give you
think
a
is...
few. So I've been working with the Project Ubu guys here in South Africa. Let's keep it local for an example, right?
Yes,
They've got 2 tokens, the UBU and the UBX.
yes.
The modeling of these tokens and the dynamics, there's deep math underneath what they're doing. So it's very hard for people to understand. But what you can understand quite easily is what they're trying to create is a system of universal basic income that, if it works, could make a massive difference in the lives of people who need it the most and solve problems we have around unemployment in the developing world. So there's a fantastic project that's running a token sale, not an ICO, a token sale, a token that, you know, I think could be a good investment in time as well. But there's a good example of using the model.
Cool, let's talk about one of the big international ones.
It's like rapid fire. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I
Keep
want
them coming.
I want one of your favorite ICOs, a good ICO that's been done in the main international stage.
Civic.
Love Civic.
Yeah,
another,
like Civic.
Another one.
Filecoin.
Filecoin. What do you like about Filecoin?
Well, I like the fact that it's a token that's powering a protocol. You know, I can understand tangibly how this token is being used in a software system. They also have a product on the road already, and that's a problem with a lot of these ICOs. You give a guy in his mid-20s $100 million and he hasn't built a business yet. He's just got a slide deck and a white paper. What's his motivation to actually go and build a business now? He doesn't owe anybody their money back. These people aren't investors. They don't own equity in his business. I mean, he's going to move to South America and buy a Lamborghini. Why would he build a business instead?
But you like Filecoin. What about storage?
I like it as well, but I don't know as much about it. Again, like, I don't want to comment on things I don't understand. And you could challenge me then on calling 99% of what's out there trash. 99% of what I've seen in the ICO market is utter garbage. Doesn't mean you can't make fast money on it, right?
Like everyone else is doing?
Exactly. And let's be honest, I think most of the people watching the show know what's going on, right? They know that this stuff is garbage, but they know that they can make 10% on the day if they buy the bounce. Fantastic, go for it.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot again with my rapid fire questions.
Yes.
Bitcoin price on the 1st of the 1st, 2018. What's it going to be?
I don't know, Ran. Yeah. I look, personally, I think it'll be closer to $5,000 than it'll be to $1,000. I don't think the big crash is on the radar for this year.
That's good enough for me.
Okay.
Okay, one more question.
Yes.
5 tokens, 3-year holding period, no buying, no selling. What are they going to be?
No buying, no selling, 3 years. Okay, so obviously Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Right. I'll de facto have Bitcoin 2x, but let's not add it to the list. These are ones I'm choosing, right?
Okay.
Ethereum. UBX tokens in Ubu.
Okay.
Ethereum for sure. I've been in Ethereum
You've said
since
Ethereum
day one.
Already. You've said it already.
Have I said Ethereum already?
You've said it already.
Oh, that was my second one.
Yes,
hey?
that's right.
Okay.
2 more, come on. Civic.
IOTA.
IOTA.
I'll definitely have IOTA. And I'll choose between Zcash and Monero, and I'll probably go with Monero.
Okay, so we're going to keep watching.
One for
those
fungibility.
Tokens. So excited. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Thanks, Ran.
That's Simon Dingle. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of talk about the Tynix Pay token. Dr. Julian Hosp is the founder of Tynix, and I've got him on the line. Dr. Julian Hosp, what is Tynix?
So at Tynix, we have a debit card, and people can put cryptocurrencies on this debit card, and that allows people to spend Bitcoin or Ethereum, token, and Dash literally anywhere that a debit card is accepted. And basically, we're making cryptocurrencies spendable anytime, anywhere, all around the planet.
So is it your own card, or is this a card issued by a bank?
So at the moment, we have to work with another bank who issues that card for us. Actually, we're working with several banks. We're actually also talking to a bank in South Africa to issue cards specifically for South Africa. But we're planning on in the next 6 to 9 months being able to issue the cards ourselves.
And can you link it to any wallet, or do you have to have a Tynix wallet?
So at the moment, the user has to download our Tynix app. We have it for Android and we have it for iOS. So we also have a web app. And then they fund cryptocurrencies into that wallet and basically link it to the card. Next year, we're planning on having an open source system so that they can have an existing open source crypto wallet, link it, and then they can stay in their own wallet and use the card. But at the moment, they really have to use our own system for that.
So I know your software is working, but how many cards have you actually got in circulation today?
So we don't give out the exact number. That has more a bit of a legal reason with our token. We don't want to allow people to make financial predictions, and that's a bit of a protection for the company. But so what we are saying is that we have 5 digits, so 10,000 plus cards out and running.
So it's definitely not a proof of concept, but how many cards are you expecting by the end of 2018?
So end of next year, so let's talk maybe end of 2018, our goal is to have around 1 million active users. It sounds like an aggressive goal, but we're quite confident. We have so many partnership requests, and actually right now we have around 3 to 4 times as many requests on a wait list compared to how many cards we have live.
Tell me about the token. How does the token work? What are the mechanics of the token?
Our Tynix Pay token works like a loyalty program. So see it like your miles or like points. Whenever you buy something, like you fly, you get these miles. The way it works for us is whenever you use our card, you get this pay token. We can't print this pay token. There's around 200 million pay tokens in circulation. It's a finite amount, so we can't print new ones. So whenever someone uses that card, we have to actually buy these pay token and then give it back to the user. And additionally, just like a loyalty program, we have special rewards and we have special bonuses that we can distribute.
You mentioned that there are 200 million tokens in circulation. How many is the company holding? Is the company holding any tokens?
We have around 20% our own and 80% have been given out. I have to mention that there's around 30% that haven't been distributed yet, but they are not in the company's control anymore.
You mentioned that there's a certain percentage of spend that the company uses to buy back the tokens on the open market. Is there a risk that sometime in the future, the company will simply just reduce the percentage to the detriment of the token holders?
Definitely, that's a great question. It doesn't stop anything. 10x is not stop anything to reduce that percentage. But here I really want to point out that we all are really big token holders ourselves, actually. Part of our salary is paid in tokens. The reason we need to have this flexibility on being able to adjust this reward is because obviously that depends on the competition and also obviously on the margin we get on payment streams. The reason our token is called Pay is because we really want to basically incentivize our users from literally all payments that we will offer. So at the moment, that's a debit card, but we're going to be offering probably 15, 20, 25 different kind of options on how people can pay. And there's going to be a fluctuation in there and differences in how much the rewards are going to be. So we need to keep this open. Otherwise, we're just going to strangle ourselves. But it's never, ever our intention to hurt token holders. So we're definitely not going to do this in a mean way. It's really for keeping business running.
And can users expect this to continue in perpetuity, or is there some kind of end date to this token?
So we're not planning on having any life cycle. I mean, in theory, the thing can go as long as we can imagine. There's nothing that can stop it. I mean, there's a couple of exit scenarios that we have been thinking through, especially let's say the company goes public, what's going to happen to the token. That's also going to depend a lot on, is it going to be possible maybe in the future to for tokens to actually have equity in a company? So these are a lot of questions that we can't answer right now because the legals aren't there yet. But, maybe 5-8 years down the line, completely new options are there for, maybe also for exit strategies that are very attractive for the token holders.
So what you're saying is that there's a percentage of spend that the company buys back, but by deduction, mathematically, that would mean that the token can only increase in value, because as the value on the network increases, the company has to buy back more tokens. And by virtue of that, mathematically, logically, the token can only increase in value.
I am obviously not allowed to promise that a token goes up in value. That would make it a financial security. So obviously the token, it's just like a loyalty program, right? What the value of that token is always in the eye of the beholder. So that's why we're not talking about any financials. But I mean, obviously, we don't have to take care of merchants because we're just using the rails of the large credit card companies. But so obviously, the more people use it, the more attractive this loyalty program is. And what the token value is, every token holder has to come up for himself. Yeah.
So when you do a transaction, there's obviously an exchange rate from fiat to crypto that you have to apply to change or to swap the crypto back to fiat. Where do you get your exchange rate from?
So at the moment, we have a payment engine in the back. It's not very sophisticated yet. We actually just hired a person who's going to really make this way more sophisticated. At the moment, it fluctuates around between 3 different exchanges. Mostly we're using Kraken, and we're passing on this exchange rate from Kraken literally one-on-one to the user. We promise our user that we give him or her the best rate available. So for us, it's not that we tick anything up on top of that. We make our profit also on that fee that the merchant has to pay anyways to the card network, and we get our cut from there. So the user is getting the best rate, the merchant's getting the best rate. It's truly a win-win in this case.
Julian, there are a whole lot of companies that are promising the same thing. They're promising a card where you can spend your cryptocurrency. In fact, you and I both know that that's like talk of the town at the moment. What makes you guys different?
To me, the most important is we're live. Our company has been existing now for a bit over 2 years, and I have seen all the struggle of not only getting a card out, but to do all the entire processes, taking care of like that no one is money laundering, doing proper KYC, doing proper terrorist financing protection, all these things, right? And they are really, really complex and complicated. And I think so many companies just say, hey, you know what? We are planning on having a card. That's actually the small part. The large part is really on getting the entire operations going. We are now 30 people in our company. And this is really, going from a handful to 30 people, that's a company, that's not a small startup anymore. That's a real company.
A few weeks ago, you may recall, we interviewed Raul Sood from the Unicorn ICO, and they're right in the middle of the ICO. Raul, just remind our viewers what exactly you guys do.
Unicorn is a company that sits at the intersection of video games, esports, and betting. So we're an all-up esports company. We have both skill-based and spectator-based wagering on our platform, but we also have non-wagering experiences based around esports. So we're one of the biggest esports companies in the world.
And how's your ICO going?
It's going quite well, actually. So, our token, we sold somewhere, we raised around 92,000 ETH so far, Ethereum so far. We're a globally distributed company, so a lot of our users are coming on the platform, and they currently use something called the Unicoin, and so the Unicoin gets a lot of usage. And now that we're turning the Unicoin into a cryptocurrency, our users are getting on board with it, and they're really excited about some of the experiences that we're coming up with in the near future.
So you're replacing the old Unicoin with the new Unicoin Gold, right?
We are, yes. In fact, we're replacing it so we can bring on more features. Like, for example, we just announced a little engine that we built that allows our users to convert their CSGO skins into Unicoin Gold. And then we take those skins, which have significant value, and we give them in our jackpots and things like that, because normally we would buy those skins.
And how many tokens are you issuing, and at what price?
So we're issuing about 200 million tokens, and the price, I'm sorry, I have to look at the price here. I wasn't expecting that. It's about 0.001154,734 ETH. It's on our website. You can see the breakdown in Ethereum there.
And if our viewers want to get involved, where can they go?
Well, they have until October 22nd. It is, you can see that the volume continues to be pretty stable and going up, but it's October 22nd, and the website is unicoingold.com. It's UNIKOIN gold.com.
Another token which has had more than its fair share of hype and excitement is the Metal token. Marshall Hayner is the founder of the Metal token. Marshall, where have we found you? You look like you're in a car.
I'm actually in Bushnell, Florida, just making some plans for my wedding out here, checking out the venue, the location that we're having this at. So having a good time out here.
Just tell our viewers, what exactly is Metal?
So Metal is a payments processing platform that involves cryptocurrency. It's sort of like PayPal for cryptocurrency. You send a payment and you earn some cryptocurrency. So you can get involved in this process and get involved in cryptocurrency, earn money for simply sending money. It's kind of a new concept.
So let's break it down. If I transfer $100 to you, what happens?
You earn $5 for sending me the $100. I also earn it as well. So you send me $100, Ran, and I get the $100. And when that payment clears, I get $105. So $5 in Metal, and you also get $5 of Metal as well, up to $1,000 a month per individual.
And at what exchange rate does that happen? At the ruling price?
Right, exactly. We look at the price at what it's trading at, sort of like gold or something like that, and then we issue some Metal as the payment processes. So as soon as I get that payment from you and it clears into my Metal account, we both get $5.
So this is built on the Ethereum network, right?
That's right. It's built on the Ethereum network.
So you've almost got users acting like miners, or users doing the job of miners.
In the future, Bitcoin mining is going to change. So right now it's a very complicated process, and that's one of the things that makes it difficult for regular people to get involved in. Either they have to buy Bitcoin or mine it. In the future, you won't have to have that much of a complicated process, but it's still out of the touch of regular people. So there needs to be a way to obtain it. So this is really a method of distribution. Proof of process payment, or POP, is for people to earn it from simply doing what they normally do, which is shopping, spending, sending and receiving money, just using money. You should be getting paid to use money, which is kind of a new concept, but that's what we're doing.
What if I'm a big retailer? Can I also get $1,000 worth of Metal a month?
Let's say you're a retailer and you have a store, you basically will get up to $5,000 a month as a merchant. For every transaction that's coming in, you're going to get basically some Metal. So it's kind of like a different model. You're going to be paying significantly less in payment processing, but if you process more than $100,000, you'll get $5,000 a month. I mean, that could go towards rent, towards an employee, and it's in perpetuity until Metal runs out. Hopefully, if things go well, it'll probably be for the next couple of years, maybe next 10 to 20 years.
Where does this Metal actually come from?
So we created it. It's our own cryptocurrency. I guess I could kind of ask a similar question. Where does money come from? It's created in the sense of our cryptocurrency, we created a limited amount, so 66.5 million units. We allocated some for funding of the company, the other portion for pre-funding, so getting our initial funding, and then the other 30% is essentially for distribution to the public, so to the crowd, so people earn it by basically just sending and receiving.
Today there are 20 million metal tokens in circulation. If I times that by the $10 which it costs, that's $200 million. Now if you're paying 10%, so 5% to the user and 5% to the vendor, that limits you guys to say $2 billion worth of turnover. Isn't that limiting?
So our initial goal as any startup is we kind of are starting smaller and let's hope that we get $1 billion of payments processed in our first year in fiat currency. And I think we could do better than that. But if we hit our goal in the first year at the current price, that's about 2 years or 2.5 years roughly with 26 million coins. But our theory is basically that as the network grows, the value of the currency grows because there are more people on it, more people accept it, it's more accessible. So as our network grows, as more people start to pop, more merchants, individuals, because who doesn't want some free money? Who doesn't want to pay people to get paid? That sounds great. So as the network grows, the value of the currency grows, and as the value of the currency grows, the time to distribute grows. So right now we have about 2.5 years at current price with our current projections. But if our users start to scale, we start to grow and get a ton of users, and that's with 0 users. So that's with no users at all. That's the current value of the coin. That's what we think we'll get. If we're successful, I think we could probably get somewhere between 10 and 20 years.
There's a lot of talk about metal and Richard Branson, and there's talk about a sponsorship of a tennis tournament on Necker Island. I know Necker Island's been involved in the floods. What's the link between Richard Branson and metal?
Yeah, so I can't say exactly about the event, but there is an event. There's a famous event that happens every year on Necker Island called the Necker Cup. It's a tennis tournament. Unfortunately, Hurricane Irma devastated the surrounding areas, and there's a lot of relief effort that's going on down there. The event itself is still going on, and you'll be hearing more about that soon.
Marshall, today, does Richard Branson own metal or doesn't he?
Maybe. I can't say right now, but yes, he's a fan. He likes metal.
So if the crypto bug has bitten you like it's bitten me, if you stay up all night on WhatsApp groups looking for trading suggestions, this next guest may be someone you want to follow. Eddie Meek is a technical analysis trader, or a technical trader, and he uses charts to make decisions on trading suggestions. Now I follow Eddie, and Eddie calls it spot on every single time. How do you make these trading decisions that you make?
Firstly, you just got to keep it simple. I think that's important. From a technical perspective, I follow a few principles. One is the Elliott wave principle, which I think is quite fascinating in terms of how Elliott studied humans in terms of how they move from impulse decisions to panic. And basically that is in a buy and a sell scenario.
So Elliott said that we move, when we make any type of decision, from an impulse to getting into the trade,
yes,
and then we panic when it goes down, right?
Yeah.
So it forms a wave.
Yes. So what will happen in your first movement, people are buying, and then everybody says, okay, I want to take some profits. And those people start to sell, and then the people that were buying say, oh, geez, it's going down, so they panic. And they also start to sell, and then everybody starts to sell, and the stock actually retracts.
So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So
yeah,
because everyone starts selling, the price starts going down. Yes. What makes it turn again?
The next part of technical analysis is a guy called Fibonacci. At school, if you studied the series of numbers, which is 1, 3, 5, 8, 13, the Fibonacci circle, and he, in terms of the retraction and the actual waves, which is extension, came out with he discovered certain levels. There's a 23 level, a 30, and the 50 level is quite new. Fibonacci didn't have that, and then there's a 68 level. He said that it would retract to those points and would find some sort of support before you get the next wave, which is the third wave of Elliott.
Let's use a real example. So I've got the Bitcoin graph up for you over here.
Okay.
$4,200 is the price of Bitcoin at the moment on the graph. What am I looking at?
Okay, so what we saw in the last couple of weeks is Bitcoin has been trading in a channel. Okay, as you can see it there, it's trading in this channel. But what's actually forming, and you get these bottoms all the time, which are moving up, which creates a rising wedge. In technical analysis, that would be called a rising wedge, which basically implicates the fact that soon there's going to be a trend reversal. Now the trend is going upwards, the reversal means it's going to start coming down. And you saw yesterday, it actually started to run quite close to the cone of the rising wedge and actually broke through the bottom layer, resistance layer. And that's where we saw that drop down to around about A, and then we saw the bear flag starting to create.
So it goes A and then it goes up to B. That's people.
Goes up. That's so basically bulls and bears fighting over price. Okay, the bears wanted to come down, the bulls wanted to go up.
And what happens when it goes down to C?
So when it gets now, the bear flag starts forming, and bear flags are also quite dangerous purely because they indicate trend continuation. Okay, so bear flag, because trend is moving down, bear flag creates, you're going to get more trending going down. And there you could see it today. It actually got to a particular point, broke out downwards. And if I had to map a line across here, our breakout point is about there. And once it breaks out there, you can read the next levels of support on Fibonacci.
Okay, so when we look at this graph, where's it going?
I think at the moment it's found support at basically 4.2. In terms of my analysis, I'll either see it going down a bit more, a bear flag moving, and then you see more movement or trending downwards, or we see a reversal and it goes back up for first wave Elliott.
So where's your money, on the reversal or on the continuation?
No, I'm actually just watching at the moment.
So you're just watching it?
I'm just watching. I sold the other night, Monday night I sold, and I rebought at A yesterday. I think you followed that on WhatsApp. I gave some people some advice there. And at the moment, I think it's a little bit too early to call whether, I think there's opportunities to get in now if people are looking to get in. But they need to watch that C movement there, whether that creates another bear flag, continuation downwards, or we see some movement up on a first wave Elliott.
So another Thursday night, another power-packed show behind us. I hope that with all the tools that I've given you here tonight, you can make some real great trading decisions this coming week. Just a reminder that if you want to win that Bitcoin in the Bitcoin competition, we're still running the Bitcoin competition. All you have to do is go to my Twitter @CryptoManRun and guess the price of Bitcoin on the 1st of the 1st, 2018. The person that guesses the closest to the price, they'll win the Bitcoin. Until next week, happy trading.